There are so many ways for companies to leverage AI to improve their productivity. I've seen them already, obviously, at Slack. Some of the things that we've built have massively changed my personal productivity, and I've seen it within our customers as well. What I would say, though, most importantly, is you can't just think about like AI as a solution for everything. It's important to think about what kind of productivity gains and changes that you want to make within your company to begin with, even outside of AI, and then think about using AI to augment those. You know, a good example of this is if I have an online store and I know that I want to, create a series of photos and I need to create product descriptions. It's important for me to like know the landscape of what are my options for AI. And there's actually a lot of really good options for me to do that kind of work. And so I can apply that AI to the thing that I want to accomplish. But I had the goal first, right? I think it's important for people to focus on what is the productivity goal you have in the first place, and then look towards an AI solution to accomplish that goal. One challenge can be if companies just like say, well, we need AI, so let's just run and get it. They're going to waste a lot of money and they won't necessarily find a productivity outcome associated with the thing that they purchased. It's like, what are you actually using that tool for? And like, it is true. Like there are many cases where, people buy a tool because it's a new AI enabled tool and they just don't use it, or they're trying to force themselves to use it. So it's important to figure out the use case first. The thing that I've seen that has been the most impactful approach to productivity is when organizations, and this is going to sound super simple, but it's when organizations actually spend time thinking about productivity and talking about productivity and making it a part of their organizational discourse. Because it doesn't come for free, right? You have to work on it. What it means to actually spend time on the topic of productivity is that leaders are thinking about their organization and how to actually optimize their organization for productivity. And then individuals within the organization are thinking about what it means to be productive as an individual. And they can recognize when they're being productive or not. They can interrogate their tasks. They can be critical about the work that they do. You can look back upon the last week of work that you did. And because you have the right set of goals and you've actually done the planning, you can look back across that week and say, 50% of the tasks that I did this week were aligned with value and are ultimately productive to the top line goals that I have as an individual or a company. And 50% of the tasks that I did actually didn't contribute to that at all and weren't productive. That is the most important thing you can possibly do, is start to have the conversation within your organization about what it means to be productive, and then get people to interrogate the work that they're doing around a set of criteria around whether it was productive work or not productive work. It's actually fairly easy to do that if you're an individual, right? Then like your productivity is measured on like, are you able to pay the bills, right? And then you get to a group of like, say, 8 people or like 14 people. The person who's not productive within that group will stick out like a sore thumb. Because like everybody else is contributing and this one person is kind of contributing, but not. When you get to an organization of 300 or 1,000 or 10,000, think about all those little pockets for people to hide in. So it becomes a lot more difficult to attain that like productivity ideal and that productivity-oriented culture as an organization scales. I think, I'm long on VR. I think that, within the next 5 years, 10 years, I think we'll be able to have a lot of the, more ergonomic challenges with VR resolved. I look forward to a period where we have more sort of spatial computing associated with work. I think that the combination of that in relation to AI and the potential for like telepresence will, I think, transform the way we think about offices and working locations and what it actually means to be there versus not there. And furthermore, being able to have spatial data, I think, has the potential to create like new contextual awareness within work that you can't achieve in the real world today. And I'm really excited about those possibilities. In 10 years, you're producing a 3D model of some kind of like, some kind of like product that you're making. And you could quite literally talk about what you want to model, and it happens there in real time. And then you could make another stylistic choice over here, and you can pull them together, and AI will just blend the stylistic choice with the structural model. And then you have this new object, and then you can start to pull and manipulate the object itself So you go from like speaking about the model you want to then pulling it apart and actually shaping it like clay, and then you could like toss it over to your printer in virtual reality, and then it just prints next to you in a real physical object. Like that, I think that'll be something that we start to see, over the next few years. And it's a combination of this like spatial environment coupled with, AI doing a lot of the work behind the scenes. What I've seen is that across the landscape, there are like little attempts here and there, right? So obviously you've got, the Quest and you've got the Vision Pro for your spatial computing. And then I've seen some new AI startups start to do some of this like 3D modeling with AI. They're doing it more for virtual characters that you might see within a digital world versus physical models. And then in terms of the sort of the visual dimensions or the layer on top of that structure, obviously Midjourney or Firefly, these like visual computing AI technologies are really kind of like moving into the future. So, and like also when you look at like Sora, which came out from OpenAI, I mean, they're basically creating this video, right? This AI generated video. And if you think about what that entails, they have to render an entire 3D world. So I think, yeah, we're starting to see these things emerge.